Hey guys, what's up? And welcome back to Quality Shot Tennis. How's everybody doing? Today, we've got Roland Garros starting up. Always a joy, one of my favorite moments, if not my favorite moment of the whole tennis season. Just my favorite individual moment when Roland Garros hangs his head up high and begins one of the best events of the whole year. Always fun. Also, Wimbledon is around the corner with a grass swing. It's just one of the best times of the year to be a tennis fan. We've got Carlos Alcaraz, taking on JJ Wolf, the lucky loser. Love watching both these guys. So it's going to be fun. We're going to see where Alcaraz is at with the right arm after he pulled out of Monte Carlo, was struggling with it in Madrid, pulled out of Rome. It's been a bit of an issue throughout this clay season, so we'll see if it affects his Roland Garros. So yeah, it should be interesting to see what's up, everybody joining in. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. So don't forget to like and sub. Do not forget to like and subscribe if you are joining in. Players are about to walk on court. JJ Wolf, the world number 107 lucky loser. He lost to Jasper De Jong in qualifying 6-1, 6-2, which isn't a great sign. De Jong, if you remember, is the guy who Sinner played in his second round match, I believe, at the Australian Open. And Sinner pretty much ran through him. And Wolf is losing to De Jong 6-1, 6-2. I don't know about his chances against Alcaraz, but if you haven't watched Wolf play, watch Wolf play. Wolf is fun to watch. I also got a chance to meet with JJ Wolf in Atlanta, which was a lot of fun. But he has his own very distinct personality, very distinct game. And, I like watching both these guys. Two big talents. So, we'll see what all happens in this one. Where you can watch the match, Tennis Channel has it. Tennis Channel has the match. So, should be an enjoyable one. My prediction for this one is Alcaraz in straight sets. I think he has a bit of a statement to start off his tournament. I don't think it will be the biggest test for his Roland Garros. For his Roland Garros against JJ. No offense to JJ. I think his sternest tests lay ahead of him in the draw. But JJ Wolf has already won a couple of matches. One against Patrick Kipson. That's who he beat in his second round of qualifying. Alcaraz could get Jack Draper, potentially, in the second round. He could also get De Jong, who beat Wolf in qualifying, actually. And De Jong took the first set against Jack Draper. I think Jack Draper could be a tough opponent for Alcaraz, but I don't think he would be as tough on clay, honestly. He has the big shots that can push Alcaraz back, just oncoming, just nonstop kind of aggression that doesn't allow Alcaraz to build out the points. But I think on clay, it's not going to be as big of an issue. Also, not let Alcaraz, get on the front foot as easy, especially on the returner serve, because he's got a big serve. But I don't know. On clay, I'm not as confident about Jack Draper. Korda could be tough in the third round. Korda beat Alcaraz on clay Monte Carlo last year. Was it 2 years ago? I think 2 years ago. But anyway, his sternest tests lay ahead of him. I think he should be pretty happy with his draw, although there are a few danger names, like I said, like Draper, like Korda, like Ben Shelton, like FAA. You never know. But I think his sternest tests lay ahead of him, say Rublev, Tsitsipas. Although, if he's healthy, these are all guys that, he should be fairly excited to play against, because he's had good success against them. By the way, we have already had a few winners on the men's side. Rublev, Sonego took out Hugo Humbert. Also, Zhang got the win. Zhizhen Zhang, Nakashima got the win as well. But Humbert is the first seed out of the event. But yeah, I predict Alcaraz, like, I'm going to say Alcaraz, like, 6-2, 6-1, 6-1 or something. I don't think it'll be particularly close. Alcaraz 12-0 record in major first rounds, which is pretty crazy. That even how shows how good he's been from the start of his career. By the way, I don't think I can believe my eyes very much, but it looks like Wolf is rocking short hair. It doesn't really look like he's got a mullet situation going on. He's rocking short hair. Maybe the start of something new for Wolf. Either start of something new or losing his magic. I don't know. Let me know your predictions in the chat. How can JJ Wolf make it close, or is Alcaraz just winning this? I am glad to be streaming again and doing this because I took a little bit of a break. I think everybody needed to break after Madrid, Rome, Monte Carlo. Just like, was it like 6-7 weeks of 3 2-week masters, like 7-8 weeks of 3 2-week masters. It was a lot. I needed a little bit of a break from other stuff as well. Went on a trip to South Carolina, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, which was a lot of fun. With family. Didn't pay attention to much tennis there, although I didn't watch the Djokovic match. I was out on the trip, doing trip stuff, doing the regular trip stuff, but like going to the beach. But I did, when I checked the score and I saw that Novak lost to Mahac after winning the second set 6-0, I was like, oh, that's not a score that should happen. That's not a score that should be happening. So then I checked in with the tennis again. But for the most part, I wasn't really paying much attention. I say I'm living near Myrtle Beach now. Hey, nice. How often do you go down there? And visit the beach, visit Myrtle Beach. It's really nice. I used to go down to Myrtle Beach like almost every other year with family to visit just for a trip. And I think that's what Myrtle Beach was, kind of like a touristy kind of place, like a place you take trips. It's not really a place where many people live. But I think now it's like it's better than ever. I hadn't been there in 6 or 7 years, but it's really nice. Like there's so many. Just the area seems really, really nice. The community seems nice. Seems like there's a lot to do, a lot of places to see, a lot of good food spots. And the population is growing rapidly there. So it's becoming more than just like a tourist spot. It's becoming like a really nice kind of city to live in with over 400,000 people living there. Well over 400,000. So it's pretty cool. It's building up fast. Yeah. I'm in Little River, a little bit north. Okay, got you. Yeah, cool. Yeah. That city, it's way better than it ever was too, in my opinion. And it really is growing quick. A lot of crazy nice hotels there as well. It's a really nice city to walk through. Broadway at the beach. Fun spot there. Always go to. Outdoor shopping mall. All right, it's Carlos Alcaraz at the line to serve. Welcome into Roland Garros. Strap in your seatbelts. It's going to get dirty. Here we go. Back on the clay. Alcaraz with the serve to JJ Wolf. Serve out wide, forehand to Wolf. Back into Alcaraz. Cross court, back into Wolf with a slice shot. Forehand Alcaraz. Half volley. They thought it goes in from Alcaraz as Wolf misses the backhand long. It was close from Alcaraz though. But it is called in, the half volley. Good start. We're going to see a lot of flashy play from both. But it might be Alcaraz who's dialed in his flashy play more. Serve here from Carlos. Serve the back end of Wolf. Forehand to Alcaraz. Inside out, the back end of Wolf. Back end of Alcaraz. Forehand to Wolf. Forehand of Alcaraz, inside out. That goes out 15 all. What's up, Matthew? How are you doing? What are you thinking about this matchup? What does Wolf need to do? What does JJ Wolf need to do? It's a bit hard for me to see the route here for Wolf. I don't know if he has the big weapons that Alcaraz has to really test Alcaraz. But that being said, it's a fun matchup. Big return, forehand Wolf, inside out. The backhand of Alcaraz, forehand Wolf. Stack goes out. So 30-15 for Carlitos. We need to update the Wolf thumbnail pic as the guy has lost the mullet. Yeah, I saw that as well. He's going with short hair for the first time I've ever seen him. I don't know if I like it. First thing I said, Matt, when I started the stream was the guy has his own distinct style. The mullet makes him stand out. You don't want to lose that. You don't want to lose your magic. Now, here's the other question. Now that he's lost the mullet, is he gonna go up another level of play? Is this just a new JJ Wolf? Who knows? The big questions. I'm asking the big questions. What does the mullet do for JJ Wolf in this game? First serve in the net from Carlos. Could we have a chance for Wolf to gain any kind of confidence in this match? And it's a very uncertain Alcaraz at the moment. Forehand. We're going to watch that forehand from Alcaraz. Forehand down the middle. That's called out. So it's an early break point for JJ. Early break point for Jeffrey John Wolf. First break point of the match, 30-40 for the American. My bad. I thought I had it. On that as the layout. Hopefully everything looks good now. The good news for Wolf is he probably won't be expecting to win, so he can just hit out and enjoy the moment. That could be a strong position. Yeah, true. Nothing to lose. Nothing to lose, and he's got the talent to play some big shots like that return there. I mean, he's got such an extreme kind of Eastern grip, Wolf, on his shots. It's so crazy. You can hit his shots so flat sometimes as well, JJ. It can be tough to deal with. That's a squash shot in the net. 1-0 for JJ Wolf. Stop the count. Stop the count. Stop the count. 1-0 Wolf. Stop the count. That's a W. That's a W for Wolf. Wolf has not been good form yet. Agreed. Struggled quite a bit. I think he just wants to lose respectably and hope things improve on grass. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, I mean, clay is never going to be his best. It's a good opportunity for Wolf to get some good high level practice on clay. I agree. I don't think Wolf is really looking at this as. I mean, he probably is looking at this as a chance to really do something, but I agree that should probably be the main goals. It's a big forehand from Alcaraz. That's what we want to see. We want to see that right arm injury not having anything to do with Alcaraz's game. It's been an unfortunate clay swing. I mean, above anything, just to not see Alcaraz, playing. It's to not see Alcaraz playing Barcelona, Monte Carlo, Rome, and also to see him, just not at his best. Not good. It's good that we still got Roland Garros and Roland Garros Olympics. Hopefully the arm shows up for that. Forehand of Wolf, the backhand of Alcaraz, backhand of Wolf. Backhand of Alcaraz. We're going backhand to backhand. Backhand Alcaraz. That misses the baseline. So 15-all for Wolf. But yeah, even for JJ, I mean, if you're checking in on what JJ's results have been, they've not been good. Even for him, he's been struggling, losing a lot of first rounds. So not been great. Playing through qualifying of a lot of events. I mean, even challengers lost to a guy named Searle, Brit, in mid-April. Then played another challenger in Savannah. Lost a guy I've never even heard of named Schwarzler, Polish player. Lost a guy named Popko in Sarasota. First round, lost 3 consecutive challengers first rounds. So he's been struggling. That was last month. So then gets to Rome. Wolf does. Clay never Wolf's best, similar to a lot of American players, honestly. Gets to Rome. He beats Sabata Marias in the first round of qualifying, which is great. Loses to Medvedev, but like in this tournament, is a lucky loser. Loses to Napolitano in the first round in straight sets. In this challenger in Turin, beats Luca Nardi. He beats Yannick Hoffman. Those are 2 good wins. Then loses to Sonego. So a little bit better. And then he gets here, beats Peniston first round. Then Patrick Kipson, 6-3, 6-3. And loses to De Jong and plays for a pretty poor match. We'll see if he can do any better here. That's kind of the lead up coming in. Backhand of Alcaraz, the backhand of Wolf. Forehand of Alcaraz, inside out, the backhand of Wolf. Sliding into that shot forehand the other way. Good depth from Wolf here, defending. Backhand lob, trying to go for a defensive backhand lob, but it's hard to do that when Alcaraz on the other side of the court and penetrating through the court so well off that forehand side, off that right hand forehand side. I mean, great athleticism from Alcaraz there. Just held his balance so well and just flicked the backhand. Another tough shot, even though Wolf had some respectable depth on it. Serve from Wolf into the net. Second serve. Second serve from the American. JJ with the serve. Kick serve, the backhand of Alcaraz. Back at forehand of Wolf. That's in the net. So a break right back for the Spaniard. A break right back for the Spaniard. Alcaraz right back in the hunt. So good to have Alcaraz back. I just hope that his self sustains. This guy's so good for the game and so good for tennis. Agree, although we can't blame the haircut for his loss of form. That happened while he was still a mullet man. Yeah, unfortunately true. Unfortunately true. Reminds me of The Last Samurai when Tom Cruise was an alcoholic. He's going through a rough patch. He's going through a rough patch, Wolf. Listen, when a man loses his mullet, you know that there's something deeper going on. That's all I'm going to say. Backhand Alcaraz. Forehand of Wolf. Huge forehand, but unfortunately it goes out. When a man loses his mullet, just don't even talk to him. Don't even talk to him. I forget which way is an Eastern grip. Well, it's hard to even label what Wolf's like grip is, but I'm pretty sure it's like extreme Eastern grip. But yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge expert of grips, and but it's basically like what I remember with Eastern grip is like it's basically like waist high, kind of usually hit it like pretty much in front of the body, and that's like Wolf does that to the max. It's a very weird shot from Wolf when you watch him play on the forehand, because he it's not particularly close to him at all where his contact point with the ball. He just kind of rips the forehand, usually very flat. But yeah. (30-15) here for Alcaraz with the serve at 1-all. Backhand of Wolf. Returns the forehand of Alcaraz. Inside out, the backhand of Wolf. Forehand of Alcaraz, the backhand of Wolf. Forehand of Alcaraz, inside in is a great forehand. Carlos Alcaraz, wake up. Carlos Alcaraz, get up. We need you. I'd say the same thing for Sinner as well. And you know that. Serve here from Alcaraz. We're a couple games in. Serve here for Alcaraz. Out wide is a great serve. 2-1 for Alcaraz. Apparently, the clay is quite compact still as it's been cold and wet leading in. Dusty clay, not as much as the hot weather. Not arrived. Okay, yeah, good to know. Good to know. QB 1-1 sets. Yeah, I saw that. I didn't expect him to lose the first set. The guy he's playing, I don't think I've seen him play. What's his name? Mochizuki. Yeah, I don't think I've actually seen him play. I've seen his name a bunch. I could lie and say I have, but I have not seen him play. I've seen a few other great Japanese players who are around in the rankings, like Watanuki, but I have not seen Mochizuki play. Obviously, Nishikori I've seen play once or twice. I've seen Nishikori play once or twice. It's kind of crazy. The Nishikori, when I got a chance to talk to him at Atlanta, that's the last win Nishikori's had in Atlanta. I hope that Nishikori can get more wins under his belt. I'd love to see him have some success because Nishikori and Raonic are going to end up being almost like maybe forgotten or at least underrated. Raonic for sure is going to be underrated. Nobody's going to even rate Raonic. Everyone's going to forget him. But I'm gonna keep annoyingly putting Raonic back in the conversation. I mean, not as strongly as I would say a Juan Martín del Potro or something, but I will say when people don't list off Milos Raonic as a top guy from the last 10 or 15 years, I'd like to at least have his name somewhere mentioned at the conversation, even if it's just once. Even if you mention his name once, listen, you can name whoever you want to name, Zverev or like Ferrer or whoever, but I just want Raonic to also be mentioned. As well as Nishikori. But anyway, Nishikori, when I got a chance to interview and talk to him in Atlanta, which was crazy, that's the last match he won. So if he doesn't win another match, potentially, I asked him as part of the last press conference of his final victory. Hope that's not the case, but that is kind of crazy to me. He's playing. He has a chance to win his match, though. He's playing a guy named Gabriel Diallo. He's playing today. Canadian guy. I believe that's his name. That's a chance to win. Diallo has also been kind of struggling a little bit. So, hey, what's up, Tom? How's it going? Better break down the third. Wonder if it's quite slow today. Yeah, it definitely could be. So, That's what you'd expect, yeah, for Hurkacz's losing. He needs the quickness of the courts. Have you seen the Liam Neeson film with the load of wolves? I've seen pictures from it, but I haven't seen it, no. I've not seen that one. Hey, what's up, Zara? Good to have you in here. Who thinks Andy Murray will be his last appearance to Wimbledon, retire? Hope makes sense. Yeah, no, it does, and I think that's definitely possible. It's definitely a possibility. I think it's Andy Murray's last appearance. I also think this will be the last time Murray and Wawrinka play each other. Whether he retires at Wimbledon or the Olympics is probably a little bit still up for debate, because at the Olympics, he's done well at the Olympics. He'd be playing for Great Britain. It would be just a few weeks after Wimbledon, but I'd assume probably Wimbledon. This is going to be his last one. Kind of makes sense. But I don't think people are going to necessarily be offended if it's not Wimbledon. You know what I mean? I always imagine it being Wimbledon in my head. But I could also kind of see it being the Olympics. It's not like he's had no success at Roland Garros either, with a final there and nearly another final. It has been his worst major. But anyway, we'll see. He has had success at the Olympics, though. They'll probably be Wimbledon. And yeah, I would assume it'll be this year. He's kind of alluded to that it would probably be his last summer as well, which will probably end with Wimbledon, most likely. Backhand Alcaraz, good defense. Forehand of Alcaraz, cross court. Forehand of Wolf, that goes out. Just not sure if Wolf has the shot tolerance necessary to keep up with Alcaraz in these tough rallies. Winner of RG will be either Sinner or Alcaraz. Yeah, a lot of people are picking him. Carlos is my pick. Carlos was my strong pick for months, but seeing Sinner's draw and feeling less certain about Carlos, I'm leaning towards Jannik. It's just so hard to back up your first slam with another one, especially playing on your worst surface. But Jannik, I mean, I think he's amazing on clay as well. Don't get me wrong. I really, 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 really do. And I think he can do it. I mean, I think Jannik is a special player. He's shown that. He is a special player. We'll see. Back in cross court, back in Alcaraz, back in Wolf, that goes out. I mean, but the doctors are telling Sinner that his injury could become chronic. That's serious stuff. And with the hip stuff, I'm like, I don't know. He's looking good in practice. He would not be playing if he still felt like he could risk it like that. But I just a little bit more worried for Sinner, to be honest. Alcaraz seems rather confident about the arm. I don't know. We'll see. I lean Alcaraz if I'm using my head. So don't have much more to say on that. It's a break point for Alcaraz here at 2-1. Backhand. That goes out. 3-1. Could be Sinner, though. We'll see. I felt the same, but aside from Jari in the fourth round, I can't see who stops Sinner, even if it's not his best surface. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's fair. Jari really could stop him, though. It is a good draw. But, I mean, Alcaraz, you know. I mean, we're talking about winning the whole title. If we go Alcaraz versus Sinner, and Alcaraz is healthy, I just don't see Sinner getting through. Now, it's an if, again. It's definitely an if. But yeah, I mean, Alcaraz has a great draw. He has a great draw. It almost certainly. Sorry, not Alcaraz. What am I saying? Sinner has a great draw. Sinner has a great draw, and yeah, I don't see anybody in this section outside of Jari beating him. Probably not. I don't really see Dimitrov or Hurkacz beating him either. I mean, Tabilo is interesting, I guess, if he gets on a run out of nowhere now, but there's no one really there that I fancy very much. But yeah, it's just the semifinal and the final. Does Sinner have what it takes to go all the way here again? It's not like we can just pretend he never struggled in the best of 5 format. Although I do like him. I don't know. It's hard to talk about because I have the confidence in Jannik, but I just have the confidence a little bit more in Carlos, for very small reasons, just personally. And it gets down to Sinner's consistent. He's very consistent, king of consistency. At the moment, I mean, he has been. So I expect a semifinal is quite likely, especially with this draw. So, yeah, with that draw, you won't be playing a whole lot of tennis, and that would make it better in the physical matches. But I just think that Alcaraz, if he's healthy, will be a little bit too strong. That's what I'm banking on. But we'll see. Forehand of Alcaraz, the forehand of Wolf. Wolf giving himself half a chance here at love 30, but now it becomes 15-30 as he misses forehand. As Murray said that he's retiring. Yeah, he's alluded to retirement. I don't think he specifically said, I'm definitely retiring, and listed like a date and a place, but he's alluded to it very strongly, yes. He said basically like this summer is very likely my last summer. Or this summer is my last summer. I don't remember if he put a probably in there, but it seems very likely that he ends with this summer. Back and cross court, the backhand slice of Wolf. Forehand of Alcaraz. Back into Wolf. Oh, what a point here. Forehand of Wolf. Cross court, the forehand of Alcaraz. Back into Wolf. Cross court, the backhand of Alcaraz. Back into Wolf. Cross court, the backhand slice of Carlos. Slices through the court. Forehand Wolf to the forehand of Carlos. Forehand of Wolf. Big. Forehand of Carlos. That forehand of Wolf goes out. 30 all. 30 all. Wolf has a fly swatter forehand. Very flat. Sinner would not take any risk, but zip was an issue. I suspect he did an intensive test and felt no pain. Yeah, I mean, that's probably fair. That's probably fair. I just hope it doesn't come back or anything like that, and I hope that he feels free to move without worrying. But it seems like he is. So that's probably not going to be that big of a factor. Last British to win the French? It's a good question. I don't even know. Last British player to win the French? Was it Fred Perry? I think that would make sense. I mean, Henman definitely didn't win the French. Murray couldn't quite win the French. Fred Perry won the French in 1935, so probably him. 89 years ago? Back in cross court. Wolf playing some good shots here, though. I mean, he's getting good width off his shots. They're getting just in on the sideline. By the way, match right before this, Naomi Osaka got the win over Brunzetti. Had a 4-0 lead, and then botched it, and Brunzetti got to 5-4, but then she won the last 3 games, so Osaka's through, which is good to see. I'd love to see her start performing well in her kind of comeback on the other surfaces. Deuce, big point here for Wolf. Back in cross court, forehand of Alcaraz, forehand of Wolf, forehand of Alcaraz, forehand of Wolf, big, the forehand squash of Alcaraz, forehand of Wolf, back in Alcaraz, forehand of Wolf, forehand of Alcaraz, cross court, forehand drop shot, Wolf, odds in the net though. Great point from Carlos. He gets to advantage. Anthony Nadal versus Zverev. Give me a score. I'm gonna say Zverev. I'm gonna go Zverev 4-6. 6. No, I have to think about it. Zverev 4-6. 7-5. 6-4. 6-1. Yeah. Zverev 4-6. 7-5. 6-4. 6-1. That's my prediction. Would love nothing more than to see Rafa win it, though. Nothing more. Oh, what a shot from JJ Wolf. I love Wolf's energy coming in. He really looks like a guy with nothing to lose. I think, I mean, no matter what mentality he comes into this match with, I just don't know if he has enough against Carlos. If Carlos is anywhere near himself, I'll just be fully honest and say it how I see it. Would love to be proven wrong by JJ. But that being said, I love the energy Wolf has shown up in this match with. First winner of the match, according to the stats for Wolf. It's kind of hard to believe. 5 winners already for Carlos. Big serve from Alcaraz out wide as Wolf misses it with a big forehand. Well wide. Advantage to Carlos at 3-1. But yeah, I would love nothing more than be proven wrong for Nadal to win that. But I've got Zverev in 4 sets. Back into Carlos, back into Wolf, forehand to Carlos. Forehand to Wolf, hits the tape, goes back in his side. So 4-1 for Carlos. We got the Wonder Kid back on the court. Sue Barker. Oh, okay. Sue Barker. When was that? Yeah, wow. 1976 French Open. Good pull. That's a great pull, Matt. Let me know what are your predictions for the Nadal Zverev score. I hope y'all disagree with me. I hope y'all say Nadal. I hope I see Nadal's. I don't want to see people agreeing with me. I want to have hope for Rafa. I don't want to see Zverev's in the chat. I don't care what I said. I don't want to see Zverev's in the chat. I want to see Rafa in the chat. Rafa in 3 sets. That'd be great. Rafa, I mean, listen, it's been said multiple times, but if Rafa wins his first round, look at his draw. If he wins his first round, look at the man's draw. And don't tell me that if he's even playing 40% of his best, then he shouldn't at least get to the semifinals. He's playing at least like 20% of his best. If he's playing 20% of what he brought in the 2008 Roland Garros final, he should steamroll into the semifinals. I'm not even kidding. No offense to Medvedev as well. I will say that. And to Zverev as well, but I'm not counting Zverev. I'm saying if he wins his first round, then the next 4 matches, he should definitely win. When you see players struggling to let go, it makes Danielle Collins' decision seem quite sensible. Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, you've got players still around that are just not really winning very much. So, I agree. Leave early when you're at your best. I mean, everybody's got their own journey, which I love. I think everybody really has their own journey in the sport. I think everybody just has to figure it out for themselves. But I feel like Sampras, he probably felt like the U.S. Open was kind of his last hurrah. If he kept playing, I feel like he probably would have not been able to grab the same results. Backing down the line, goes out. And I mean, Sampras, he was struggling already before that U.S. Open with the loss to George George Bastel. That was very famous. But everybody's got their own journey. Now, there are big what ifs, especially due to physical issues, but also like a Bjorn Borg situation. But everyone's got their own journey. Forehand inside out, forehand of Alcaraz, inside out, forehand of Wolf goes inside out again, love 30. Now the shot selection is just not there for Wolf. I mean, this kind of feels not so great to watch because it feels like Wolf was able to 50% hang with Alcaraz for the first 5 games, but it feels like at this point that might be all that he had. It feels like maybe that's all that he had, which is well, first I'll be honest, the top thing that shows that Alcaraz is still playing at a supreme level. It's a great shot, great serve from Wolf. I have to admire how good Alcaraz. I mean, well, it's a bit silly for me. I mean, anyway, it's a bit silly for me. I'm gonna wait to say what I was going to say, because that's a great serve from Wolf. I'm gonna say that on a different point because it just doesn't feel right. That's a great service winner from Wolf. Want to talk about the return of serve that Alcaraz has. Serve from JJ here. Kick serve, the backhand of Alcaraz, forehand of Wolf, forehand of Alcaraz, forehand of Wolf, cross court, that goes out. So a lot of unforced errors creeping into the Wolf game at this point. This is tennis defined as you lose your rhythm, as the guy on the other side of the net just keeps winning all the rallies, all the points. Tough. Nadal knows this is last RG, but doesn't want to fuss a farewell ceremony, so he's telling everyone he may be back. I hope so, man. I want to see more than just one match of Rafa back, and I'm afraid we might not see that. I mean, I just what a crazy draw. I'm not happy about it, but I'm just the match they played 2 years ago was so crazy. I guess we kind of get to finish it, but not really because Rafa's not at his best. Anyway. I hope it's like somewhat, somewhat competitive. Whether that's or I don't want it to be a or I don't think it's going to be a blowout. It's not going to be a blowout because Rafa took the first set against Runa on the practice score. He's back at Roland Garros. I mean, he took out Demonor in straight sets just a few events ago. I mean, he can still play great. I just a little bit worried that it's not the farewell that I'd like to see for Rafa at the most dominant sporting event for maybe any athlete in history. But anyway, it's going to be exciting to watch. Rafa always said that he doesn't want a big farewell tour, so you may as well be right, Matthew. Yeah. Both players playing, who coaches them? I'm so out of touch, but times change. Well, Carlos is always with Juan Carlos Ferrero, who's the former Spanish world number one. Sorry, well, he's still Spanish. He's still from Spain. Spanish former world number one, Juan Carlos Ferrero, has been coaching him since he was like 13 or 14, and he was like, wow, this guy's different. So this is right around the time you should start coaching Alcaraz's brother and make him a world number one. Hurkacz won the second set. I think Hurkacz won the second set, yeah, against Mochizuki. And they're in the third at the moment. Draper lost the first two sets to Jong. I don't know what to think of Draper at this point. Hope Draper can start picking up his win rate on the grass courts. That goes in the net, so 30 love for Alcaraz. Much better play from Carlos. This is great signs for Carlos. Really good. This was never going to be, I don't think, a huge test, but it's a good sign anyway that he's being able to hit through his shots. At least a little bit. I mean, I don't think he looks 100%, but I don't know. I mean, maybe he does. He's playing well. Drop shot. Alcaraz gets it. Oh, love that. Fake out. Fake out from Carlos. Held on to that shot. Held on to that shot as if he was going to push it down the line, then just flicks it cross court. Takes some wonderful hand skills as he pushes himself to a set point to take his first set at Roland Garros 2024. Serve down the tee is very good. 6-1 Alcaraz. We got 2 more sets to play. At least 2 more sets to play. Alcaraz at 6-1. Good stuff. You sound like Roddick on this, Anthony. I'm not saying it. I'm not gonna say it. No, if I ain't saying it. Yeah, Roddick's podcast was fun to watch. No, I like the. I'm not saying. Okay, I'll say it. No, I was gonna say Alcaraz's return to serve is wonderful, spectacular. His first serve return is unbelievable. I mean, it's kind of like Iga on the women's side. They're so good at defense to offense and getting a racket on everything, and their athleticism and speed and balance and elasticity. How do you say that? Elasticity. They're very elastic. Elasticity, I think. So the serve return, first serve return. Alcaraz will basically never not at least get a racket on the serve. If you're playing Alcaraz, here's a fun fact for you. Your ace count will go down. You might have a just as good of a serving day, but your ace count is going to go down because Alcaraz gets his racket, at least hits a shot on an obscene amount of balls. And more than that, he gets them in the court on an obscene amount of shots. First, he has the best first serve return percentage on the tour. And he has the best first serve return points won percentage on the tour. And then he ends up winning the points a lot of the time. I mean, so Alcaraz on that first serve return, I mean, it's just amazing to watch. It didn't feel right mentioning that at that point because Wolf had just hit a great serve. That should have been an ace, but Alcaraz still got a racket on it. But Alcaraz is a crazy good returner. Rafa on Rome form, no chance. However, if he's significantly better, as witnesses are suggesting, it could get interesting, especially if Zverev gets tight. Yeah, I agree. And I mean, listen, I don't think people will get in his head the fact that this is the same match where he got injured against the same opponent, same court. Well, not the same match, but same court, same guy. I don't think it will be a big factor, but you also just never know. I mean, I guess if that happens, or I don't know, there's no real way of knowing that it's happening, but if it happens in hindsight, it shouldn't be that crazy, to be honest. But that might be a bit of a reach, but I do think that Zverev could get tight, and I think that Rafa's Rafa, and Rafa's Rafa at Roland Garros. I mean, the guy's lost, 34 sets at Roland Garros? He's lost to 2 players in his entire run at the tournament. 2 players, 3 matches. 2 players, 3 matches, 34 sets, all in all. His first time being unseated at a slam since the 2005 Australian Open. It's like you see Pete Sampras at Queen's Club. Yeah, no, it's awesome. Yeah, Pete Sampras is one of the GOAT. Shout out to Sampras. All the respect on Pete Sampras' name for being a GOAT of tennis. He's still the only guy ever to do, 6 straight year-end number ones? 5 straight? I think 6 straight. Backhand slice. That's in the net. Love 15. So 15 love for JJ Wolf. Let's see if he can get at least a game on the board. Despite the scoreline, this felt like not that much of a blowout in the first 5 games. It felt like Wolf was actually hanging with Carlos a little bit. Since then, it's really been after 4-1 that Wolf has struggled to win points here. It's a great serve from JJ. You will notice from JJ as well, he's got a strange serve. Very weird. Hits it way out in front of him, then just kind of slices over the ball. It's pretty crazy. Just kind of hits it, tosses way out in front of him at diagonal, just slices over it. Or just hits it very flat. He almost hits it like a forehand. He has like a forehand serve. 30 love for Wolf as he misses a first serve. Forehand to Carlos down the line, backhand of Wolf. Forehand to Carlos is very good. Love seeing him being able to unload on that forehand. 30-15. Hubie on the verge of going 2-1 down. Kenyon getting dominated by Siegemann. Didn't see this today. Yeah, it's unexpected, right? Let me pull up live scores. On one hand, it's been a very long clay season. On the other hand, I almost can't believe that Roland Garros is happening. And yeah, Hurkacz down 2 sets to 1 is crazy. Now, backhand in the net, 30-all. Draper nearly losing to De Jong, which is kind of a good sign for JJ because that's who he lost in qualifying. The fact that De Jong seems like he's going to win another match. But yeah, I don't know. One thing losing to De Jong and another one losing 6-1, 6-0, whatever JJ did. I think that was the score. Dimitrov 2 sets to love over Kovacevic, American guy. Thompson losing to Martyrer. Thompson doesn't like the clay as much. Zhang is a bit of a dark horse here, in my opinion. Zhizhen Zhang. He's been having an underrated clay swing. Forehand inside out, backhand of Carlos. Backhand Carlos again, very strong. It's just too much. It's just too much. How many times do you see this from one of these guys, whether it's a pull name out of the hat from the top 10 guys, but whether it's a Jannik Sinner or Carlos Alcaraz or Stefanos Tsitsipas or Novak Djokovic or Rafael Nadal. I mean, those guys a little bit more, but they're just a little bit too much. And it doesn't speak to the poorness of players outside the top 100 or outside the top 50. It more so speaks to just how good they are. It really shows it more than ever how good these guys are. You get reminded. It's a small margin sport, what defines being that much better or that much clearly better. That goes out from Wolf. So 1-0 for Alcaraz as he is cruising now. He is cruising. Draper back at 4-4 in the third. Can he flip this match on its head? I mean, he always can, but I don't know. I haven't really been watching it. You let me know. How's Jack doing? I've got one more. I'm currently watching on Tennis Channel, but I've got was it like Barstool Sports? I think it's shown at as well. Let me see what match they're showing. By the way, they're showing first set stats. Wow. JJ Wolf 11% on second serve points won. Alcaraz 67%. He's also making way more first serves in play. So those are the stats. Those are the stats so far. 48% first serves in, 79%. I mean, that's obscene. 31% percentage points difference is pretty crazy. Gotta say, I'm very excited for that Mario Wawrinka match happening later today, as well. And Jack, I don't think Draper has got the confidence on clay to turn a match around like that, to be honest. And about Draper, I'm a little bit more worried about his mental game more than anything else. So I kind of think De Jong wins it. If De Jong's been, confident enough to go up 7-5, 6-4 on Draper, and I think he'll be able to finish it off, but could bite my words. I just haven't seen Draper have a comeback like that, so I need to see that first. It could always happen, but I'm not gonna bank on it. Draper's just been struggling a little bit. Kostyuk doing very well over a player I haven't seen before, to be frankly honest. Tomljanovic is out to Yemstremska. I like both those players. Boskova taking out Kudermetova. She's been struggling. I'm so excited for this Roland Garros on both sides. Forehand that stays just in from Alcaraz. Back in cross court. Love 30 for Wolf. Back in Alcaraz. Back in slice of Wolf. For an Alcaraz. Very solid. Inside out. For an Alcaraz. It felt like Alcaraz was smart with the first one, in which he was like, okay, well, I could unload, or I could play high percentage, kind of get it in. Then it felt like he kind of unloaded a little bit too much on the second one. So love 40 for Wolf. This is the kind of things you've been seeing with Alcaraz a little bit. Shot selection at times, rushing himself, especially on the forehand. He might need to find his forehand again. I mean, this is a shot he was rushing a lot right before Indian Wells. I mean, that first serve wasn't even close. Into the court. Second serve for Alcaraz. Anyway, we'll see how Alcaraz keeps looking with that forehand. Forehand inside out, back in a Wolf. Forehand of Alcaraz inside in. It's too good. Too much pace. It's always hard to reset after an injury like that, to go back to your best, because he finally found the rhythm on the forehand. He didn't even play badly in Miami to lose early there. Lost to a out of his mind Dimitrov, the best performance I've seen Dimitrov play, I would personally argue. It's a great forehand from Alcaraz, goes to 30-40. But before Indian Wells, it felt like he was rushing along the forehand, and that's something he's going to have to figure out again. The consistency, the shot selection, high IQ tennis. Not just, going for early winners, but being able to rally and build out points, not go for anything special every shot. Listen, when you have a high chance of playing a miraculous shot nearly every other point like Alcaraz does, it's kind of hard and tempting not to go for it. So it's sometimes just dialing that down, honestly. When you have a kind of 50% chance to hit a 1 out of 100 shot, it's kind of tempting not to do that. But you could also just go for the easier play and the better play, which is to be like 80-90% sure you're going to get the ball in play and build out the points to win the points. That's a little bit better. A little bit better. All right, we got Deuce here. This feels like the last chance for Wolf to really insert himself in this match. outside of any kind of health concerns for Alcaraz, which we really hope does not occur. Forehand Wolf down the middle, back into Alcaraz, back into Wolf, back into Alcaraz, cross court, back into Wolf, back into Alcaraz, forehand Wolf, back into Carlos down the middle, forehand Wolf, huge shot from JJ. Bring in the power. Bring in that power. Love it. Love it, love it. Right in front of him and just rips. Dude, 112 miles per hour. I knew it was quick, but man. JJ Wolf with an 112 miles per hour forehand. You tell me that JJ Wolf isn't built different. JJ Wolf, the GOAT. He's got advantage here. That's an amazing forehand from Wolf, really. That's a better serve from Alcaraz. Are you kidding me? That's what I like to see from Alcaraz. The clay rewards Alcaraz's serve, the high bounce serve that he can offer. That's a perfect ace. A perfect response after your opponent hits an 112 miles per hour forehand. JJ Wolf is nuts, man. JJ Wolf is random, but I like watching him. Heard Andre Agassi now Labor Cup captain. Yeah, it's awesome. I said it a long time ago. I'd love to see Agassi be a coach for Team World and Federer be on the other side. They played a slam final at the U.S. Open. Be awesome to see Federer take up the mantle next year. We'll see what happens, but I'd assume that Borg is going to step down as well. That's my guess. He's never a Sampras fan. All right, fair enough. He was one of my all-time faves, but everybody's got their favorites. What's up, Ghost? Julian, hello, hello, hello. I actually bet De Jong to win. That's a good bet. Not really backing Jack on the clay, but that's pretty smart. Sonego won, no upset. Yeah, I mean, Sonego just wins the first round of no matter who he's playing. Like, he'll play, Sonego will play Tsitsipas and win his first round, then lose in the second round in straight sets. I mean, that's just Lorenzo Sonego. Sonego will play, the greatest match of all time against, one guy in the top 10 and then lose his next match, 6-2, 6-1. And be like, okay, well, that wasn't unexpected. But yeah, I mean, Sonego beat Hugo Humbert. Humbert doesn't love the slow clay, doesn't really reward his game at all. He doesn't hate it, but it doesn't love it. Hugo's not clay boy, no. No. Whole crowd is so behind De Jong like he was a French player. Thought Draper would get the love. Interesting. That's good for you if you can get that love from what's not even your home crowd. I wonder why that's the case. I saw Federer play as a junior back when I was a huge fan. Tennis still am, but things didn't catch the problem. No, okay, got you, Tom. Yeah, that's awesome though. Federer is the best. If you got to see Federer live, there's no better. Well, I mean, people would argue. For me, there's no better player to watch of any in history, probably, than to see Federer live. I don't want Alcaraz to dial it down. Life is short. Yeah, but I mean, we'll see more of him if he keeps winning the matches. I don't want him to completely take it away from his game, but I think maybe if he dials it down, he could still hit the crazy shots, but also be winning the matches, which is for me the more important thing. Because it's not been fun to watch, has it? I mean, since Wimbledon, U.S. Open, not as fun. Wolf hasn't been a threat in many, many months. Even injured Alcaraz too much for him. I hope I'm wrong. I agree. Yeah, I hope that I'm wrong as well about that. Spanko set up, but a breakdown in the second. You can never trust Panko. So unpredictable. Yeah, true. Yeah, no one else is interesting in tennis. At work, it's only and all what damn Switch football is up to. Yeah, I feel that. Everyone's always talking about other sports, basketball, football, but tennis deserves love. It really, really does. It's a fantastic sport. Back and cross court, backhand of Wolf. Backhand drop shot. Alcaraz, very good. I think this first drop shot winner of the match. His first drop shot winner of Roland Garros. We're probably going to see a lot more of those. So, I mean, that's a beauty. That's a beauty. Speaking of Federer, that was The ball forgot that it was being hit by Alcaraz and not by Federer. 40-15. Serve here from Draper. From Wolf. Serve here from JJ Wolf. Not from Jack Draper. He is not on the court. He is on the court, but not here. He's playing Jesper de Jong. Serve Wolf. Alcaraz runs around and back in return. Forehand to Alcaraz. The back into Wolf. Cross court. Back into Alcaraz. That's in the net. Another game for JJ Wolf. 2-1. Big fist bump from Wolf. I still love what Wolf brings. He's never not going to be, just doing his thing. Fighting his fight. Ostapenko, by the way, at love 30, trying to break Christian right back. Paijosi, or whatever her name, Brazilian player, not sure how to pronounce it, but she just like the second set on Marta Kostyuk. A lot of close 3-set matches on the women's side today. I mean, Sorenko had to retire against Vekic, but outside of that, Kostyuk going 3, Osaka won 3, Stremska won 3 against Tomljanovic. We've had a few close ones. Siegemann took the first set over Kenin. Christian Ostapenko could go 3. Bozis and Fett looks like it might go 3, maybe. So we'll see. Hubie 3 up in the 4th. Looks like we're going 5. Yeah, and I'd back Hurkacz in a 5-setter, to be honest. I'd back Hurkacz a little bit in the 5-setter. Borg stepping down is funny concerning who's hardly there. Yeah, that's true. They literally could have put Mankin on the team effort bench and would have had the same effort. Yeah, I mean, I think he was great because he really contrasts McEnroe's personality, and also they're friends. They're friendly with each other, which is not the case with a lot of guys around there. Around then, they're friendly with each other. They're one of the most famous rivalries in the history of the sport. That's why it works. But I agree. I mean, yeah, they should get somebody else who has a much more outward, bigger personality. I just think it's the case. Rivals would be good. I've been backing Agassi and Federer. I mean, they did play a slam final against each other. I think that would be fantastic. It makes sense if Federer wanted to do that. There are definitely other players he could get as well. It is hard with Agassi because a lot of his rivals were also Team World. But I'm sure you could figure something out. Forehand Wolf defending as a lob. It's going to go in as well, maybe. Yeah, it does stay in. Forehand of Alcaraz, the back into Wolf. Forehand of Alcaraz, the back into Wolf again. Backhand of Alcaraz goes for a big one. Wolf defending, still gets it. Great defense from Wolf. Backhand, Wolf unloads and he misses it. So 15 love for Alcaraz. It just feels like when Wolf is not able to hit winners. A lot of the points. Just feels like Wolf is not able to hit winners a lot of the points. And I know he had an 112 miles per hour winner in the last point, but it just feels like for the most part he's not able to hit winners. Pickleball is still in the next generation American racket athletes. Nobody young is playing tennis. Very disappointing. Yeah, true. Alcaraz amazing. I love his game. I agree. Let's go Mullet King. That's it. But he doesn't have a mullet, though, Ghost. He doesn't have a mullet. He screwed himself. Listen, if Wolf was still rocking the mullet, it would be 6-1, 2-1, 30 love, JJ Wolf. Totally joking. He lost his power. No, but Alcaraz is up, and he's about to go up 6-1, 3-1. Lost 2 games. Just 2 games. Flying tennis is so severe, I'm now considering joining a pickleball league. I may have to wear a grocery store bag over my head in shame. Please don't tell my mama what's become of me. Yeah, well, tennis is not declining, and pickleball is not as good of a sport as tennis, and tennis will survive. We will survive well. It's my opinion. And listen, pickleball can exist in its own right, and people can even think pickleball is better than tennis. I don't mind. It's just the pickleball taking courts and attention away from tennis and exposure to tennis away is kind of my issue, because it doesn't really coexist with tennis as much as it does take away from tennis. Forgot, did Murray versus Federer play at Queen's Club? I don't think so. I don't remember that. Yeah, Borg and McEnroe are friendly. Nobody's friends with Connors, however. No. Yeah, Connors didn't particularly go out of his way to be friends with anybody. I think Lendl and McEnroe are also fairly friendly. Well, they weren't back in the day. They were not friends back in the day. I don't know about now, but famous match at Roland Garros 1984. I think one of the best and most important matches ever in the history of the sport, which I want to make a video on soon. Which I'm going to make a video on soon. But they were not friends back in the day. Lendl and Connors were both not. They didn't have a lot of friends, either of those guys. Lendl would just straight out go at the players and not even apologize. And not everybody appreciated that, among other things. Love 15 here, by the way, for Alcaraz. Kick serve, backhand of Carlos, forehand of Wolf. Backhand of Carlos down line, forehand of Wolf. Backhand of Carlos, defending. Backhand Carlos again, defending forehand. Wolf keeps going to that backhand. It's a ridiculous drop shot. Oh, Wolf with a flick, which was nearly a miraculous angle, but he misses it. Love 30. Love 30. Wolf probably, well, I don't know. Wolf didn't play a bad point. Was trying to break down that backhand. That was a ridiculous drop shot from Alcaraz. Wolf probably could have gotten the last shot back, too. He went a little bit too low percentage there. To try to flick it cross court, he probably should have just gone down the line, but anyway. Well, but then you open up Alcaraz to have a chance for a passing shot, and Alcaraz probably just doesn't miss it, so maybe he did the right thing. Alcaraz has one of the best passing shots on tour. I mean, with Alcaraz, Rafa, Medvedev around, like, those guys have some of the best passing shots ever, I think, all of them. I would honestly argue that all of them have some of the best passing shots ever. I mean, at this point, I'm not going to put Medvedev and Alcaraz in a whole lot of best ever conversations yet, especially for Medvedev in general. But in terms of passing shots, I would not. I would feel pretty good about that for Medvedev and Alcaraz. Alcaraz is obvious. Medvedev has a ridiculous passing shot. I mean, it's the only way he can play his game. The fact that he has such a good passing shot. It's essential to his game. Backhand of Alcaraz, the forehand of Wolf, backhand Wolf, going back into backhand, it's in the net. I want to see another high level match between Medvedev and Alcaraz, where Medvedev can get the win. It would be great for tennis, I think. Like last year's U.S. Open. I mean, Medvedev, I think in that match put on one of the best performances of the last 5 years, in my opinion, against Alcaraz to get the win there, because that's a bad matchup for him. For him to kind of steamroll through Alcaraz like that, he was playing tennis that didn't even look particularly imaginable for him to play at that level. That goes out, so Wolf surviving for now, 30-40, doesn't want to go down a double break. I would love to see another competitive match. I think the first set of their match this year, Medvedev and Alcaraz at Indian Wells, was one of the best sets of the year so far. I thought that was what I was waiting for from a match from them. Alcaraz stepped up in the second set. Medvedev went away, especially his serving performance there was not as good as he'd want it to be. It's not the best conditions for him. I'd love to see them get to a fast hard court and for Medvedev to be able to play another high level match. Their ATP Finals match was a dead rubber, I believe, as well. So I don't know. At least for him, it was a dead rubber. Backhand cross court, the backhand slice of Wolf. Forehand Alcaraz, the forehand of Wolf. That's in the net. 4-1 Alcaraz. See, grits his teeth down. 12-2 in games. 12-2 in games. I wonder where Stefan Edberg is these days. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen from him in a while since he stopped coaching Fed. God, Anthony, I hope you're right. But all the public courts are dominated by picklers. My city now has bars and restaurants with indoor pickleball carts that drive me crazy. Drives me insane. Pickleball is so inferior, it's not even close. It's so inferior for me. Well, it's just inferior in terms of the athleticism, physical strength required in just about every capacity. And I mean, in terms of like best of 5 matches, mental strength as well. Just everything. It's not For me, there are things that are different. It's just a different sport. It's a very different sport. So if you enjoy pickleball for what it is, that's very fine. But for me, it's not as good. Now paddle, if you talk to me about padel, that's a whole different thing. If you talk to me about padel, that's a different thing. Like I could, if somebody says padel is better than tennis, I'm like, okay, padel is amazing. But padel and pickleball are night and day as well. Draper's hanging on by a thread. Yeah, what's the score there? Yeah, Draper with the third set. I'd love to see Jack have a comeback there. What's up, Jane, as well? Jenny, I must go now. Okay, all right. I'll see you later, Tom. Appreciate you stopping by. Those French crowds get so worked up about toss rackets. Ridiculous. They get worked up about everything. So Jesper De Jong looks like he's 16. He does. I remember when he played Yannick in the Australian Open. He's got a baby face. Murray versus Wawrinka, what happens? I think it's gonna. I don't think Wawrinka steamrolls through Murray. Wawrinka's been struggling. I know it's clay, but they've both been struggling. I don't know. I kind of think it might be. I would love to see a 5-setter. I'd still go with Stan, but it could be Murray. I could see Murray winning it, to be honest. Very strange shot from Wolf on the return as he hits a kind of middle between mixed and in between of a forehand and a backhand. There are some shots that you only see on a JJ Wolf match. Same thing for Alcaraz. That was one of those. Striker drops the third in the tiebreaker. Game on, game on. Let's go, Jack. Wow, what a drop shot from Alcaraz. You know what? I'm going to go on a gut feeling. Like, you can only make predictions, like tennis is so unpredictable. My head kind of tells me Stan is going to win because it's clay and it's Roland Garros, but my gut feeling says Murray. So I'm just gonna go out on a limb and says Murray wins in 4 or 5 sets. I don't know why, but I'm kind of feeling that because both guys have been struggling so much anyway. I feel like maybe fitness-wise, maybe Wawrinka struggled a little bit more. Like that was the one thing that stopped him from upsetting Manarino in the first round of the Australian Open. So I just don't know. I'm gonna go with Murray. It's kind of my gut feeling. Forehand Wolf hits the tape back on his side. Alcaraz doesn't need the luck, but he'll take it anyway. 6-1, 5-1. Everything going Alcaraz's way. Everything going Alcaraz's way. But yeah, I'm going to go Murray in 4 or 5 sets. That's my prediction. I'm excited. I'm excited for Roland Garros, the rest of it. Excited for Wimbledon. I'm excited for Roland Garros Olympics. It's going to be a non-stop crazy time to be a tennis fan. Crazy time to be a tennis fan. Yeah, Hurkacz is in the 5th set, by the way, against Mochizuki. Pretty crazy. If Hurkacz loses it, I'll be happy that I picked Dimitrov to get to the quarters. I'll be happy to see Dimitrov get to the quarters, potentially. Not for sure yet. Nobody in that section had even made a quarterfinal before. Just period. Nobody has made a quarterfinal at Roland Garros from that whole section. I love 15 here. We will be covering the Murray Wawrinka match, by the way. David will have the call for that one later on the day. I'll be watching. Hopefully, I'll be watching as well. A little bit, anyway. Forehands, big shot, inside in, down that outside line. That goes out from Wolf. Love 30. This set is not as close as the first set. Stan beats Andy. Can we stop calling it the Big Four? No. Not in my opinion. No. No. It's the Big Four. It just is. It literally just is. Murray went 30-2 in finals outside of playing the Big Four. 30-2. He lost 2. He won 30. Between 2007 and 2017. Made 59 big semifinals. If he can show me another player that reached 59 semifinals of big tournaments that isn't an all-time great, that was ridiculously dominant, notably dominant, then I'll playing against three legends like the big three, the three greatest players ever. If you can show me another all-time great that reached 59 semifinals of big tournaments, then I'll maybe bow my head and say, okay. But I mean, the way that he stood with the big three for so many years and was constantly in all of those semifinals and finals and beating them at many times as well. Until then, I mean, he's part of the big four. The big three are also there, but Stan is not even close to Andy, and Stan has said that himself as well, despite the same number of majors. I mean, Stan and Andy, I kind of like that they both have three because it's the best representation that majors aren't everything in tennis. That the number of major titles is not everything in tennis. Like, I think Martina Navratilova is the greatest women's tennis player of all time. If I was to pick one, I mean, Serena right up there as well. So many great players throughout history. To name, with that conversation, Steffi Graf, Chris Evert. But I think Navratilova is the greatest player of all time. She has 18 majors. I just don't think major titles is the best representation of everything. The number of major titles. More like 14. So Google Images can't tell him apart from Yannick Sinner. He's not even a ginger. Oh no. That's hilarious. Wait, is that real? Like, if you look up Jesper de Jong, show Sinner. He does look a bit like Sinner, though. I'm not even gonna lie. He looks more like Rusevori, though. Yeah, this guy looks like he's like 12. Backhand, that's in the net from Alcaraz. So deuce. I guess I do too a little bit, though. I got a baby face, so I can't say too much. But the guy looks like he's 12. I reduce here. 2 points away is Alcaraz from taking the second set. Wolf serving. Forehand of Alcaraz. Back in volley. Backhand of Alcaraz. It's a lot. Very strange. Smash from Wolf put away. Love the creativity you see on the court when these two step up to the plate. I love tennis as a kind of an art form. I love tennis as a outlet for creativity. It's what makes it great. It's so physical, so athletic, but it's mixed in with the beauty and artistry that you only see in tennis. The creativity you only see in tennis, that every point is a little bit different. You can invent new shots. How in the world did Alcaraz get that? I mean, come on. How does Alcaraz get that ball back? This guy can do things on the tennis court we've never seen, and that's why it's good to have this guy back. Wolf puts it away, though. 6-1, 5-2. He's one game away from going up 2-0 is Carlos, but Wolf with another game. Yeah, Matthew, yeah. I'm with you, bro. I'd rather die on a tennis court than live a long life in a retirement community with pickleball courts. Yeah, for sure. No. Tennis till I die, for sure. Draper has been growling at himself all day like a grumpy bear. He can do that. Get real negative on himself. Do you think the French will be respectful to Andy? No. Yeah, I probably not. This crowd is tough. I mean, the Roland Garros crowd is tough. A lot of the time. Dimitrov wins in straights. Good job, and hope he has a run here. Yeah. Great win from him. They're showing it now in straight sets. Playing another one-handed backhand. But he gets the win. Love to see some success for the one-handed backhand. I hope Dimitrov can listen. Tennis is weird at the moment. Let's just put it like that. Tennis is weird at the moment. We've got 3 2-week Masters like right back to back. Then we've got Roland Garros, Olympics, and Wimbledon off of 2 different surfaces, completely different surfaces. That's before all the hard court stuff. I mean, tennis is weird at the moment. You got players getting injured. Djokovic is not in form. It opens up the chance for a guy like Dimitrov to really assert himself in the conversation. It should be obvious to say. Some people don't even believe that it's possible anymore. I haven't lost belief. It's hard for me to lose hope in a player that I have belief in. But if Dimitrov was to ever, I'm definitely not going to rely on it or hope for it at this point. My expectations for Dimitrov are basically like I'm not going to expect anything from him at slams anymore. But what I will say is this: if Dimitrov is ever going to win a slam, for me, it should happen the next two slams, that Roland Garros or Wimbledon. I think that's my opinion. Roland Garros, Wimbledon, maybe the Australian Open next year if he keeps this form up. But I think the next kind of year of slams, if he's ever going to win a slam, it's got to be now. If that's ever going to happen. Most people would say there's no chance, or at least that it's not going to happen. I haven't completely discounted the idea of it, especially after seeing how well he played in Miami and how consistent he's been really since the start of 2023. It's unlikely, but much, much stranger things have happened. It'd be really rewarding to see a guy like Dimitrov be able to pull it off, even if it is unlikely. Back into Wolf, the back into Alcaraz, back into Wolf, back into Alcaraz, cross court going back into backhand. Back into Alcaraz down the line. It's a great injection of pace. Some heavy forehands. Wolf defending way back behind the baseline. Smash from Alcaraz. Oh, no! Oh, Wolf was there. Alcaraz did a smash, and Wolf, like Fabrice Santoro taking on Roger Federer at the Australian Open, way behind the court, returning smashes. And Wolf somehow, right where Alcaraz hit it. And Wolf completely unloads on a forehand. Man, I wish that went in. That would have completely excited the crowd. Wolf was so close. The ball was just a little bit too high over his shoulder. If he had a little bit more control over it, and it went just a few more inches up, then it would have been one of the shots of the tournament. Anyway, that's Alcaraz, who's 2 points away from going up 2 sets to love here. Wolf standing way close in here. Takes a big rip at the ball, but he misses it in the net. 40-15. You didn't have to add to Andy for him to no. Yeah, exactly. Ghosty, of course, Andy gets a good reception everywhere. Yeah, I mean, Andy does. Yeah, that's true. But the crowd is tough, so we'll see. Man, JJ getting walled. Yeah, my boy JJ. But Alcaraz is playing great. Serve is a great serve down the tee from Alcaraz. Give me that. 6-1, 6-2. 1 set away from a great start for Alcaraz. Happy about my pick now. I was nervous about my pick, not that it matters, but I was nervous because if Alcaraz just shows up and he can't play, then it doesn't really matter. We've seen a lot of practice vids of Sinner. I haven't seen a whole lot of Alcaraz, but I was like, he's speaking confidently about his game. I'm gonna back him for the title. Alcaraz is my pick to win the Roland Garros. He's been my pick for a while, although he was my pick last year as well, and that didn't really pan out, although for reasons of cramping, which should really not be the case this year, I would think. Kind of learned from that situation, I would think. Still salty about how hot they treated my baby boy Rublev this morning. Yeah, about how about how they treated my baby boy Rublev this morning. Yeah. Yeah, the crowd is tough. It's tough. You put Navratilova over Graf and Serena. For me, Navratilova is the GOAT. I've had extensive thought about it. I could change my mind. At some point, I want to make an all-time rankings for women's and men's tennis, kind of similar to Tennis Abstract. I want to do that kind of list for my own rankings, which would be quite different from theirs and from a lot of rankings. Yeah, I mean, I could change my mind, but I've had this opinion for probably a good couple of years. She won by far the most titles of anybody. She's won by far the most matches of anybody. She beat Chris Evert, who has the greatest win percentage of all time, 13 times in a row. She has a couple of the most dominant seasons ever in a row. She had a ridiculous longevity. I mean, she had incredible competition to deal with in her prime. She just plays amazing. She's like the perfect like player. like Navratilova is. Like outside of this major count, but she had to play against Graf and Everett. Like she was playing through some of the toughest periods in tennis history. So you have to kind of count that in for me. I think Navratilova is the GOAT. I could change my mind. It's not like I don't think of that as like oh, this would be fun to say. Like, wouldn't it be fun to say if Navratilova is the greatest of all time? Which it might sound like, and that's fine. But it's like, I just feel like for me, with looking at the realistic parts of everything, the competition she had to deal with at the time, for me, the ridiculous stats that Navratilova put up. I mean, what is it, like 347 titles altogether? Singles and doubles. I think the second most is like 189. So just looking at that, I'm just like, I think she's the greatest ever for me. Rusevori to Jong and Sinner probably got carded a lot at liquor stores. Yeah, true. Absolutely. Kind of stupid, but it reminds me of John Mulaney, and not the same thing at all, but John Mulaney's new special where he talks about how he was out with friends and they were all called John. They all got pulled over and they're all called John. I don't know why it reminded me of that just then, but John Mulaney's hilarious. I've been a fan for a while. Agree about all about majors is a modern thing. When Martina played, they didn't organize their schedule to peak for majors. Also, many didn't play the Oz Open, consider it equal to the other slam. Yes, that's true as well. Yeah, Australia was not as big of a as big of a slam for a lot of players. And yeah, I agree. I agree. Also, she has like the most finals of anybody, I believe. Might be Everett. But yeah, she only won the Australian Open 3 times. I'm sure she would have won it way more had she played a little bit more often. So, I don't know. I mean, for me, Martina is the GOAT. I mean, she missed Australian Open 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 times. No, even, well, yeah, like 12 times. And one of those, other time it wasn't even held. So, like 13 times. I mean, and her win rate at the tournament was 87%. That's even above the U.S. Open, where she won 4 titles and she reached 7 finals. So I don't know. For me, Martina's the GOAT. They're just loudly booing and whistling. Somebody just tossed his racket. You think he just whacked the ball into the crowd or something. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. JJ was a beast in college. Yeah, he was. Absolutely. I never got to see him live, but it's awesome. It's impressive what he came back from. JJ. Yeah, JJ has a great story. There's no doubt. Yeah. Anthony, what's your take on that Monica Seles phenomenon? Could she have been the GOAT? Yes. Yes. For me, usually when I do mention that Martina is my GOAT, I also mention that Monica Seles is a big asterisk. I think she would be the GOAT at this point if she kept playing. For a lot of people and for maybe most people. I mean, I just have to look at the facts. I mean, she won like what 8 majors when she was a teenager. You know, just beating Steffi Graf, who was dominant herself and playing as amazing as she was playing. I think Seles would be the GOAT if she kept playing. I think there's a high chance of it. So yeah, asterisk Monica Seles. It's funny, sometimes they come out college do very well. Isner and Shelton, for example, are Nori, but others just kind of hover in the 150 ranks, but Donald Wolf, some others. Yeah, but that's great too, Ghost, to be fair. I mean, some people play college and they just don't even enter the top 300, 400, 500 in the world, and which is still like decent. Even if you're like 700 in the world, it's still amazingly high level, but you know what I mean. If you're in the top 150 in the world, you made it. Very, very few, obviously, 150. Just 150 people get to do that. So, and that's when you start making money, really, when you're around that point. I mean, it's kind of crazy how few it is, but yeah, so they're doing fine as well. Kostyuk about to lose, OMG. There's going to be celebrations. I know a few people who don't like Kostyuk very much. Sometimes fans who don't like Kostyuk very much. That's all right. Yeah, Kostyuk. Losing right now, 4-0 in the third. Kenin about to make it 3 sets against Siegemund. Does Siegemund ever not have a 3-set match at a Grand Slam? Is that a question I can ask? Does Siegemund ever not have a 3-set match at Grand Slam? I feel you on Navratilovan's numbers, but I feel like Graf and Serena have tougher competition. It might be false memory though, as I'm just now remembering Everett rivalry. Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I just don't. I don't think that. I mean, I feel like if Graf had Celis still for her entire run, then I feel like I would agree. Maybe I feel like I'd agree. Serena, I just don't think really did. Although I do think Serena deserves all the credit and everything that's been thrown her way. She's absolutely one of the all-time great sporting athletes as well, and one of the greatest players ever. Just as is Navratilova and all the other players I mentioned as well. But Serena absolutely is. Just exudes greatness. She's one of the greats. But I also just think that I think Navratilova had tougher competition. I just think Navratilova had tougher competition. I mean, it's unbelievable how good Chris Evert was. So, so there's that, and not just on clay, but a lot on clay. But I mean, just looking at who Navratilova played in her finals, by the way. A lot of Chris Evert. She played Steffi Graf in 6 finals, Monica Seles in 1, and she played Chris Evert in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 finals. So if I have my numbers right, then 23, she played 23 finals against Steffi Graf, Chris Evert, or Monica Seles. If I have my numbers right. I mean, most of her other finals are against all-time greats as well. So, I mean, she had tough competition. Backing down the line is very good from Alcaraz. What a way to start off the set. Love 15. Listen, Alcaraz is going to look to not even barely lose points here at this point. I'm going to make a weird prediction. I'm going to say Alcaraz loses 4 points in this set. I know that's a prediction I probably shouldn't make, but whatever. Alcaraz is going to go on a tear in the set. I hope JJ proves me wrong. First serve goes out. Second serve. I love watching Wolf serve, by the way. I mean, he hits, yeah. I love guys who hit even something as simple as a serve differently from other players. It's a great return from Alcaraz, love 30. Hubie goes to 5 because, of course, he will, yeah. True. I think he went 5 with Menzik at the Australian Open. I'm pretty sure that's right. Menzik reaching the 3rd round there. He's constantly going to 5 sets at slams. In fact, when's the last time Hurkacz... Here's an interesting question. When's the last time Hurkacz did not go 5 sets in the first 3 rounds of a major? I'd like to know the answer to that. Or even first 2 rounds. Let me see. Actually very curious by this. Because I'm going to say it's a long time ago. I'm going to kind of say it's a long time ago. Yeah, went 5 sets against Menzik in the 2nd round of the Australian Open. Forehand goes out from JJ. Forehand goes out from JJ. Hurkacz went 5 sets against Marc-Andreas Huesler at the U.S. Open. So I'm going to look for the last time that happened. Forehand goes well wide from JJ Wolf. So 1-0 for Alcaraz. It's 1 point lost. 1-0 for Alcaraz starting off. Here's what I remembered very well. Hurkacz last year at the French Open started off the French Open playing 3 consecutive 5-setters against David Goffin, then against Griekspoor, and then against Varillas, who he eventually lost to. That was last year. Played 3 5-setters. He didn't play a 5-set match at Wimbledon, but that's the only outlier so far that I can find is that Wimbledon. He played 5 sets against Shapovalov and against Sonego at the Australian Open last year. He's constantly playing 5-set matches. It's kind of crazy. All right, 15 love here for Alcaraz, who's won 5 of the first 6 points of the second set. Both these guys very creative on the serve, as Alcaraz standing pretty far close to the tram lines to serve this. Kick serve out wide. Wolf gets it, forehand. That's going to be too good. Just feels like Alcaraz is toying with Wolf at the moment. Just feels like he's 10 moves ahead on the chessboard. Just feels like Wolf is playing with. Just feels like JJ Wolf is currently playing with a knight and a rook, and it feels like Alcaraz is currently playing with a queen and 2 rooks. So. $40 love. Start playing again. I was like, is it supposed to be hurting this badly? After having 2 separate double hernia surgeries, it was originally only supposed to be a 4-month recovery. Then I got into a car accident the day of my surgery when I was supposed to start playing again. I was like, so it's supposed to be hurting this badly. I went in and got checked. And they said the first surgery wasn't done right, so I had to have somebody go back in. That's crazy. Clip that from an interview he did. Damn, yeah. I remember he got into a car crash, but I didn't ever really read the full story about it. But yeah. Dude, he's a great human being. I mean, he was so nice in person. So, and that's tough to go through. Prediction 6-3 or 6-0. Yeah, I'm going 6-0. Poor JJ. Yep. But yeah, I would imagine a hernia is one of the worst things for a tennis player. Yeah, messed up middies year 2023. Year never complained, but it wasn't the same. 2022. Yeah, 2022. Why don't people like Kostyuk? She's a very athletic player, fun to watch, I think. Yeah, she's fun to watch. It's just, I think her personality in interviews and sometimes her personality on court has rubbed people the wrong way. I like watching her. I like Kostyuk, but I can understand it. I mean, you make a damn fine argument. I'm gonna rethink my Lady Goat rankings. Nice. Yeah, I wanna do that at some point. I like debating it too. I like tennis debates. Like healthy debates are fun for me. I've been stuck in debates with people where I was like, can we just like stop the negativity here? But if like a healthy debate where you're just talking tennis and stuff is actually really fun. And yeah. I want to do more of that. Just kind of debating different topics and all-time kind of greats. And I definitely want to make my own all-time women's and men's ranking. I'll do that in the future. Panko won with double fault. Of course she does. GG. GG's. And yeah, what's up, Maynor? Don't think I said hello, but how's it going? What the Fokina? Yep. Might have had a C-section. Shenko popped out. Shenko shells up off one of his arms down. Fokina's having a fucking frustrating season. True. Hey, what's up, Jake? How's it going? Alcaraz is playing chess. JJ is playing Hungry Hippos. Yeah, that's fun. Savage Ghost. What did I say about Alcaraz barely losing a point? He's lost one point this set so far. That aged well, I have to say. So far. Backhand, but I jinxed him because he loses another point. Second point of the set so far, as it's 15-40. But yeah, I mean, JJ, I mean, he's not even playing particularly like it doesn't appear to me like JJ's playing the worst match ever. It's just he's playing Alcaraz, so I mean, I can't say he's playing great, but wow, that completely gets away from JJ there. As Alcaraz has won 12 points and JJ has won 2. Earlier in the match, I said Alcaraz had won 12 games and JJ had won 2. Now it's 12-2 in points. By the way, guys, please don't forget to subscribe to Quality Shot Tennis if you are new. We're going to be here for a lot more. Please don't forget to like the stream as well. Here for a lot more streams and tennis stuff and Roland Garros stuff and Roland Garros Olympic stuff and then Wimbledon stuff, then US Open stuff. And then Shanghai stuff and then Paris stuff and then ATP Finals stuff. And then Davis Cup. Then back to Australia. And then we go back to the clay swing. Then Sunshine Double. And then to Wimbledon. Then back to the US Open. And guess what? It never stops. Because the off season is 7 days long. I wouldn't be surprised there's no off season. We just go straight from the ATP Finals and the Australian Open starts the next day. That would be fun. No off season. It makes me feel bad for JJ. Hopefully he can get back to winning ways on fast grass. I agree. Ostapenko. Penko getting it done. Showing the highlights here. Let's go, Penko. That's my GOAT. That's my GOAT. It's a nice hug. What the hell? Ostapenko being nice. JJ Wolf without a mullet. It's a weird day. It's a weird day. It's a very weird day. When Ostapenko is nice, you see JJ without a mullet. I mean, Alcaraz is barely losing points at this point. 15 love. He's lost 2 points this set. I did say, I never make predictions like this. It's probably maybe a little bit unprofessional, but I did just feel it in my chest. I was thinking Alcaraz is barely going to be losing points this set. Just feels like it's led into that. But I did say Alcaraz will lose like 4 points this set. Backhand Alcaraz. That goes out. That is another one, though. JJ, at least they get something going here. Dude and Draper taking the 4th set. Let's go. 4-1. Yep. Sounds great. Downpour on outer courts. Yep. Saw that. So there's going to be a little bit of a delay on the courts that don't have a roof. Really clawed his way back into the match. Let's go, Jack. Let's go, Jack. That was the Quality Shot Tennis intro for a while. My name's Jack Draper. Shout out Quality Shot Tennis. We got to cheer for Jack. No, Jack's great. Forehand. That's a great forehand from Wolf. If I am right, then Alcaraz is going to win every point for the rest of the set, which I don't think will happen. But I'm not rooting for that. I am rooting for JJ to make some strides here. If I'm right, Alcaraz would have to win the last 11 points, which I don't think would happen. Although it has happened before. I do remember Alcaraz winning 11 consecutive points before. I remember that on a few occasions. If anybody ever wins a golden set, I could see it being Alcaraz. Although maybe he's a little bit too up and down for that. I don't know if we're ever going to see another golden set again, but Alcaraz could do it at some point. Maybe. I remember last year at Indian Wells, Alcaraz won the first 10 points of the second set against Medvedev. It's pretty crazy. Serve here from Carlos at 30-all. Wolf standing way behind the baseline, goes for a huge return. I mean, Wolf just hasn't found anything on the return or serve. 40-34, Alcaraz. This has been fun to watch, though. I like watching both these guys. I root for JJ to really pick it up in the future. I hope he can win an ATP title at some point. If Wolf comes away from his career with an ATP title, I'll be content. I'll be content to have had the honor of watching JJ Wolf play. I'll say it like that. And seeing him win an ATP title would be amazing. I hope for that. I won't ask for anything more. This is ridiculous. This shouldn't be real, by the way. 71% on every single statistic. Alcaraz serving statistics shouldn't be real. If he's also converted on 71% of break points, I'm going to freak out. Wolf with a great forehand behind Alcaraz to save a break point. Gets to deuce. Gets to deuce. Alcaraz converted on 64% of break points, 7 out of 11. This is not fun to look at. 6 winners for Wolf, 21 unforced errors. That sounds about right, unfortunately. Wolf hasn't, it's a little bit misleading. I mean, Wolf has just not had quite enough in these rallies. And he's not had he's not had the ability to finish off the points very well. He's been hanging in rallies like okay, but he hasn't had the ability to finish off the points. So yeah, unfortunately, I think that's accurate. 22 winners, 18 unforced for Alcaraz. I hope those stats are more accurate during the slams. You know what I mean? When I show those stats, usually they're not that accurate. It's been a fairly long match, by the way, for a 6-1, 6-2, 3-0 scoreline, hour and 38 minutes. Usually it's already over with this kind of a scoreline. Although we are playing on clay as well, I have to say. Forehand cross court. That's a great shot from JJ. Love this. Just going for a break here. It's advantage to Wolf, the lucky loser. The lucky loser and mulletless, JJ Wolf. Focus on CD. Yeah, he's been struggling. Draper showing his fitness. Yep. Keep an eye on that one. ADF has not had a good year. What's his win-loss stats for 2024? Can't be in the positive. No, it's I mean, I would bet he's won like 2 matches, to be honest. Like, he's just not been winning, has he? I'm gonna make a prediction. I'm gonna say it's like 3-10 or something. Backing down the line, that goes out. I wasn't even close. Jesus Christ. Wasn't even close. 9-11. Okay. So it's not positive, but Jesus, I was a bit too. I mean, what's he won though? I don't remember him winning 9 matches. I mean, looking at Fokina's season. Okay, so he's won a few matches. Won a couple matches at United Cup. Forgot about that. Quarterfinal Marseille. Okay. Quarterfinal Dubai. Beat Menzik and Morazan. Didn't remember that. Who else? Beat Shang and Madrid. I don't know. But he hasn't really done anything momentous, though, or monumental. I was a bit negative. There on Fokina. Slight range. It sounds loud. Yeah. I haven't checked ADF stats for the same reason. I haven't checked how the A's are doing. Yeah, fair enough. UTS London champion Jack Draper. Yep, Jack literally has a giant lightning bolt in his trophy case. I like it. Yeah, nice. Ian Rublev should joust with their lightning bolts. Rip Anthony prediction. Yeah, 5 points, 1 for Wolf already, and a game. Got the break back for 15 all. It's a good winner from Wolf though. 6 points. Let's go. Let's go. That's too many Alcaraz. Yep. What's up, Ruben? He usually has at least one good run by now. Yeah, I mean, remember Monte Carlo? 8 points, come back starting. Let's go. 8 points, Wolf. 7 heaven. Let's go. Can you get to 9 here? That would be crazy. Can he get to 9? Alcaraz nearly with what looked like an around the net return to serve, but kind of makes sense with not quite around the net, but close. But he misses it anyway. 30-15. He gets to 9. Whoa. Whoa. That's crazy. 9 points? That's wild. You make it 9. That's crazy. Serve volley, half volley, Wolf. Alcaraz is there. Great shot down the line. Gets it. Make it 10. Not quite there, though. Alcaraz with a great winner. Speaking of Morazan, he's not had the clay season I would have expected after Rome 2023. Yeah. Morazan has been struggling a bit. But I will say he did well at the Sunshine Double, beating Demonor at Miami. Demonor always struggles a little bit on the Sunshine Double. He struggles more on slower courts, Demonor. But that was still a great win for Morazan. He also beat Runa like 6-1, 6-1 or something. Back and Wolf to the back end of Alcaraz. Back and Wolf. Going back into back end. Back and Wolf. Back end of Alcaraz down the line. It's a great shot. 30-40 as Alcaraz tries to get to 4-1. I need to rewind the stream, but is this the same? Is this the exact same scoreline I said? I think I predicted 6-1, 6-2, 6-1. I think that's the score that I said before the stream started. I don't want to say false information, but I think that's the score I predicted, which would be kind of cool. Not cool for JJ, but backhand's a great return from Alcaraz. That's in the net. Alcaraz just suffocating depth. Suffocating as he has a chokehold over JJ, which is not the least weird way I could have put it. 4-1, 2 games away. Let me check if I have. Let me check if I could rewind and see if that's the scoreline I predicted. It was right at the start of stream. Not that it matters very much, but I would like to know if I got it. Mahach had a good Miami too. Yes, Mahach has been playing great all season. Shout out Mahach. He could be a dark horse in this event. He is a dark horse in this event. Guys, be like 9 points is enough. Don't be greedy. Yeah, exactly. Don't be greedy. Don't be greedy. Don't get to double digits so quick. I've given you enough. Dimitrov QB was a fun Miami match. Yeah, I mean they always seem to make it close, but Dimitrov just ends up on top. So he just ends up on top. Hurkacz match interrupted in the 5th set. What's their score when they stop? Wow, 5-2 for Hurkacz in the 5th set, though. So, looks like Hurkacz is going to escape, which is good. Wants a Hubie with some good success. Oh, yeah, Marajan did have a good Miami. Yeah. Yeah. That's in the Mind Palace. I just have all the tennis results of every player, just somewhere, for some reason. I don't know why. Need someone to censor the Nadal's for me, just blur out the offensive parts, the non-Nadal parts. I agree. I want to see Rafa. I want to see Rafa winning. Serve coming here for Zverev. Sorry, serve coming here for Alcaraz is what I meant to say. 30 love, 4-1. Serve Alcaraz. The backhand of Wolf, backhand Alcaraz. Forehand of Wolf, backhand of Alcaraz. Forehand of Wolf. That's a great forehand. 30-15. I mean, it's not going to end up being a great match. Hopefully. But the more matches we can see Nadal kind of playing at Roland Garros, that's what I was hoping for from the comeback, that we'd at least get to see a few matches here at the least. It's going to be very tough for Rafa, but I'm not going to discount him at all. What he did for many years, especially like coming back 2017, winning it again, then coming back 2018, 2019, winning it, 2020 against all odds, winning that one comfortably, playing one of his best matches there ever in the final against Djokovic. And then 2022 happened with revenge from 2021, and then, playing with foot injections, and you basically can't doubt him ever again. Even if the guy's 65 and he's playing at Roland Garros, it's like almost like, okay, but it's Rafa. Like, it's almost just like, it's what Almagro said when they were playing in 2008, I think. This guy's going to win 40 French Opens. He's going to be 60 and still winning these things. Like, that's true. Like, that's a great volley from Alcaraz, by the way. It's a long match for what the scoreline is. But it's Alcaraz with the serve to get to 5-1. Backhand of Wolf. The forehand of Alcaraz, inside out. Backhand goes into the crowd as it is 5-1 for Alcaraz. 6-2, 6-1, 6-2, 5-1. Once again, I appreciate everybody joining in. Please don't forget to subscribe and make sure to join in for Murray Wawrinka later. And ring that notification bell, all that stuff, so you get notified for future videos and future streams. And more stuff, QualityShot tennis. First serve percentage from Wolf, by the way, has gone up and went from 52% to 81%. First set to third set. So similar scoreline, but at least he's doing better on that serve. Forehand squash out Alcaraz. That goes out. 15 love for Wolf. Happy to be wrong about the total points won. Forehand squash out Wolf. Forehand of Alcaraz. Inside out is very good. Serve from Wolf into the net. It's a double fault. Wolf. So 15-30. People in the chat have said it a couple times. You guys have said it a couple times, but I hope that Wolf. I mean, clay was never going to be Wolf's best surface. I hope once we get on the faster surfaces like grass and like hard court, he can have some better results. He had some great matches on grass last year. So 10 points, Wolf. Yep. That forehand goes out. It's 30 all. The ATP banned me for being a weapon of mass mass destruction. I definitely would have had 40 plus US Open titles. All right. Well, 11 points, 11 stars in the sky. 11 points. Yep. I'd hate for Rafa's last RG match to be round one. It seems disrespectful somehow. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not the farewell I would have wanted for Rafa, to be honest. But it is what it is. I mean, at least I mean at least if he loses, he's not losing to like he's losing to the guy who just won the last Masters 1000. Like I wouldn't expect him to lose to anybody outside of the top 30, but at least we're taking that possibility out of the equation. If he does go out, I would love nothing more than to see him at least have a run to the semis. I don't even need him to win the title. I just would want him to. Honestly, even at least him winning that first round, I'd be content. Won't be particularly excited about the farewell if he does lose it, but it is what it is. You have to accept. And then we have the Olympics, so he will play at Roland Garros again, just not in the Grand Slam format. All right, we got 40-30, 30-40 here for Alcaraz, who has the break point, and that comes as a match point. Alcaraz with a very strong start to his Roland Garros campaign. He struggled a few times in early rounds Roland Garros the last couple of years. This is a good start for him. That's the start he needs, especially to sustain his physicality throughout the event. That's what kind of hindered him last year. This is a very good first round. Probably tested him just enough without pushing his body at all, and this is a great start. Backhand to lob, backhand Carlos, goes for a big one down the line, but it goes in the net. Deuce for Wolf. Would be great to see Wolf get at least one more game before we go, before we stop here. Let's see if he can. $12 points, 13, yep. Forehand inside out, backhand, forehand of Wolf. The backhand of Carlos down the line is a great redirect. Forehand of Wolf is a better shot cross court. Backhand Wolf, great shots here. Backhand slice, Wolf finishes at the... Oh, he got a chance to finish at the net, he missed it. That would have been the best point Wolf had played in the match. That forehand from the outside corner cross court is very impressive, but yeah. Did Rafa play grass season? Is he going to play Wimbledon? Do we know? We don't know, but he signed up to play Labour Cup. I still expect him to play Wimbledon. I've said that on multiple occasions. I don't see why he won't play. I mean, preparing and I guess there are reasons. Taking care of his body, preparing right for the main events, which is clay. But I just don't know. I expect him to play Wimbledon. That's the event that he most wanted to win in his career. And he's had some great memories there. If he's doing a farewell, I expect him to play Wimbledon. And he's done well going from clay to grass in the past, so I just don't really see why not, for the most part. All right, another match point backhand. That goes out. Alcaraz with a winning start in Roland Garros. He wins 6-1, 6-2, 6-1 over Wolf. Some big forehands hit as well. He played a very solid match to start off. If he's healthy, he might very well be the favorite for the title. When Rafa's in the draw, you want to always mention Rafa. Point blank period. Djokovic also in there. Sinner, he's in there. He's good on clay too. We have a lot of people in the draw, but Alcaraz, if he's healthy, you like him. I mean, he's got Tsitsipas in his draw. Tsitsipas is very tough, but I like the Alcaraz versus Tsitsipas matchup. It's a tough draw for Steph to potentially play him again in the quarters, I believe. He's also got Rublev, but that's also a tough draw. Although Rublev did just beat him at Monte Carlo, although Alcaraz was hindered physically. But anyway, Alcaraz is through. I appreciate everybody joining in. This was fun. Appreciate everybody who tuned in. Thank you guys for watching, everybody who tuned in. Thanks, Ghost. Thanks, Maynor, as well. Good finish. Yes. Kind of no doubt in this one. Yeah, bum for JJ, but Carlos was the better player. Yeah, absolutely. 25 on first errors for JJ and very few winners. Dan Wolf has 10 winners and 24 on first errors. Malo Mijo, yeah. Tough. I appreciate everybody joining in. See you later. Jane as well joined in. Appreciate everybody who tuned in to this one. It's fun to chat. Tune in for Murray versus Wawrinka later. Back in Quality Shot Tennis. More streams to come. Alcaraz is through. Great start. We'll see how he does in his campaign to get his first Roland Garros. Winning start for the Spaniard.